you for joining us today. This is our latest Healthy at Work webinar series. This is on the subject of the Gord Smith Healthy Workplace Awards. We hope you find this informative and helpful if you're considering an application for this year. Please note that this event is being recorded for future viewing, and we will be sending out a link to that along with the survey next week in a few days when we get that ready. My name is John Beveridge, Chair of the Working Toward Wellness Committee, and I'll be facilitating today's discussion around the Healthy Workplace Awards process and how to apply. I would also like to mention that October is Canada's Healthy Workplace Month. Just before we begin, some housekeeping items. Audio, if you're having any difficulty with the sound, just double check your volume settings, do what you need to do there. Questions. So we welcome you to post in the chat any questions you might have along the way, and we will attend to them at the end of the presentation. Certainly, you can reach out to us afterward, and we do encourage that. If you're finding you're into the application process, gathering evidence and wondering, is this good, that good, can we do this? Please reach out to us, and we can provide additional guidance, because we truly want everyone to be successful. I mentioned we will be sending out a survey following the webinar. We'd like to do this. It's very helpful information for us, good feedback, and of course, it helps us to improve future webinars and serve all of you better. So at this point, I would like to now call upon Karen Smallwood to read for us the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. The Working Toward Wellness Committee recognizes that we work in the traditional territories of the Three Fires Confederacy, First Nations of the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi. We acknowledge that Treaty 2 and Treaty 35 and other agreements cover the territory now called Windsor-Essex, including LaSalle, Amherstburg, Tecumseh, and Bell River. We are thankful to be able to work and live in these territories. We are grateful to the First Nations and Indigenous peoples who have cared for the land, the water, and the air since time immemorial, and who continue to contribute to the strength of our region. The Working Toward Wellness Committee would like to also acknowledge with deep respect the original stewards of the lands on which our meeting takes place. We commit to understanding the history of this area and acknowledge inherent and treaty rights of Indigenous communities. We understand that Indigenous people are healing and that each person's healing path is different. We affirm that we are here with humility as colleagues, learners, and allies. We are all treaty people. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So our agenda for today is going to include a history and overview of the awards. Why would we or you want to invest in a wellness program? What are the benefits of doing so? The application process itself and the associated timelines. The criteria and the toolkits. So what is it that makes up our submission? What kinds of things are acceptable are we looking for toward the application? Resources and other things. And then we have a guest presentation today that we're going to take a look at what a comprehensive wellness program can look like. Okay. And then, of course, some photos as we're into our Q&A of the earlier this year's event from last year's awards. So the history and the overview here of the awards. The awards program began more than 20 years ago. Gord Smith was a local workplace wellness advocate, and he was the inspiration for the Healthy Workplace Awards. So therefore, he is the namesake. The awards are available to all organizations in Windsor and Essex County. So there's many things about this awards program that historically have not changed. The program aims to recognize employers who implement wellness programs and doing so at various levels, because we do understand that not every organization has the same level of resources available to them. Smaller sized organizations, larger organizations. So you get very varied opportunities and programs there. I kind of alluded to the fact that, the awards program has evolved. It certainly has. If you go back prior to the pandemic, it looked a lot like it does now, with a broader range of potential topics. What we found necessary during the pandemic, as all of us were focusing on prevention, COVID prevention measures and things like that, that dominated most of our wellness programming and what we were doing in our workplaces. So we modified the criteria to reflect that. But we've come back pretty much almost full circle on that with respect to we're accepting any wide range of topic. In the toolkits, we provide a few examples of topics, common topics, but certainly you can be creative with that. It can be quite generic in nature, or it can be specific, something specific, so long as it has some wellness benefit for your employees and potentially their families. So why invest in a wellness program? Why apply for these awards? Well, it's believed that healthier employees equal a healthy workplace, vice versa. And I don't think we have to go too far to understand the benefits of that. Employees who are in improved physical and mental health condition, it can reduce illness and injuries, can increase employee engagement, job satisfaction, productivity. If we're healthy and well at work, chances are pretty good that we're going to be more productive and engaged. It does, at the end of the day, make good business sense. For most organizations, it is important to be an employer of choice. Very competitive environment out there for good staff, right? And of course, it just inherently encourages healthy lifestyles and habits. I should also mention too that part of the awards program, we at our annual ceremony, which is held in the spring, would recognize the body of work done in the calendar year previous. That's why the awards are this year is the 2025 awards, presenting them and celebrating them in the spring of 26. It's for this current year's body of work. And so recipients get a nice plaque, and we'll talk a little bit more of that, but it is very much a recognition, yes. So if you're wondering, okay, so where do I find everything? Where are all these resources you speak of? So if you go into our website, it is embedded on the CMHA's website, but if you go into our website, you will find these main 6 sections. Some are self-explanatory, but the second one is specifically everything to do with the awards. There's some information in there, resources, all the toolkits are in there, and eventually the application, okay? I will bring to your attention as well, we do record all of our webinars and post them, usually within a week or two after, however soon we can get to it. And so we send links out to that to the participants, but make them available, but you can find them in this section here under the recordings. Under the events, you'll see, a photo gallery and videos and things of events we've had. Resources can be very, very helpful in a general sense for your program, or if you're applying for the awards, you can go in there and get some great ideas and help there too. And I'll bring to your attention the stay in touch section. That's basically a contact us, but it's also for us to contact you. So if you sign up there, we don't send out a whole lot of correspondence. We understand email boxes get filled up pretty quick and you don't want a lot. So, but we do certain targeted promotional information and messages and registration things relating to our webinars and the awards and any other events we may have. Okay, so if you sign up there, you'll be on our contact list and we keep you informed. So inside the awards section on our website, you will see a link to this video tutorial on how to apply for the awards. We created that a couple of years ago. Again, it's very helpful. It takes you more through the application process. The applications are not available just yet. We tend to make them available later in the year, December. I don't have a specific date, but it'll be probably mid-December. In the meantime, you'll want to gather evidence and hang on to that. Once the applications are available, you will have 30 days from the time you initiate the application to complete and submit it. You can start to upload, you can fill it in and start to upload some of the evidence. But after the 30 days of initiating that, you'll need to submit. And also too, if there's any technical issues or any concerns with it, you can always send us PDFs. Because we take January, February as kind of the application window. We take that period of time also to start reviewing them. So the deadline, though, we must receive your application no later than February 27th. Okay. A little bit about the intention to apply. That's really not a mandatory, oh geez, you didn't send that in, so you're out. It's not like that at all. It's a soft courtesy that we ask. If you know you're applying for the awards or you think there's a real good chance, please just send an email to the committee's email and just let us know your intention. We're going to apply this year and what level. Okay. It's just very helpful for us for planning and to have an idea of how many applicants we may have. Okay, so again, not mandatory, and if it goes beyond October 31st, that's okay. Just let us know your intentions. Okay, and then the actual breakfast reception, the awards, we held it in May of this past year. We're intending to do the same thing around the middle of May this year. Don't have a hard date just yet, but we will communicate that once we firm things up with St. Clair. So getting into it a bit here now, with respect to the criteria and the toolkits and the information and resources for how to apply. These are your guiding documents. There are 5 levels of the award available. Once upon a time, we had added a 6th level to the diamond level before the pandemic, but through the evolution, we have decided that the 5 levels were appropriate. And you'll see in a minute, we'll look at the table that lays out the requirements. Rising Star is an entry level, so we ask that you only continue or apply for that award for 2 years, and then see some progression, maybe up to bronze or silver or higher. So there are 5 levels. The topics that you select, and we'll talk a little more about the topics and selection and all of that, and what would be appropriate, what counts. They do need to prioritize health, safety, and well-being. They have to relate to improving the wellness or supporting wellness of your employees and potentially their families. One thing that has really not changed since the beginning of time with the awards is the wellness model itself. So you'll see how things, again, in a second, we'll put the table up and it might visually be more helpful. But there's 4 pretty core elements, the first of which being promotion and awareness raising. So that's essentially communication. Education and skill building. That's an important one. So for each topic, you've got to show at least one activity relating to promotion or awareness raising, education, skill building, and some kind of an environmental or administrative support. And then some topics, depending on the level you're applying for, you may have to provide a supporting policy. Okay, and we'll talk more about the policies in a minute. And some require some evaluation, some kind of a survey or questionnaire. Okay, so we'll look at that in more detail. But that standard model has not changed. And I mentioned that at the breakfast reception ceremony, when we hand out the plaques, on the plaque, we recognize organizations for milestones. So how many years you've received an award, participated in the program. And so we do so in 5-year increments. And so we were happy to see this past spring that for the first time in the history of the awards, we had an organization that reached 20 years. It was their 20th year. And that was the city of Windsor. And they were pretty proud about that, pretty happy about that. And so there are a couple of other firms that are getting very close to that. So we shall see. Okay, so this is the table I was talking about. It is included in the toolkits. It's also in the awards section. So essentially, across the top, we have the first thing you need to do really is kind of review and decide what level of award you feel that you can achieve. Okay, because obviously as you progress from Rising Star through to Platinum, there's more required. And the big thing is there's an additional topic required, 5 topics for which you need to have an activity for each level of the criteria: promotion, education, environmental supports. You are evaluating 4 of the topics. Okay, you're providing 4 policies. So you can see the progression. So you need to find the level of award that you feel is suitable for the resources you have, that is achievable, right? Like any SMART goal, it needs to be achievable. Okay, and to us, I'll be perfectly honest, it doesn't matter to us what level of award you apply or achieve. We're just really happy to see that you're in the program. So do not feel that, oh, geez, they're getting platinum. We maybe could have done it. Don't worry about that. Just select the level that you feel you can achieve. Okay, because we know everybody's resources are typically strained, and we really don't have extra time for things. But it's so you can see, and as I've mentioned, so across the top, you would literally click on, you would literally click on the level of award toolkit, and it's gonna bring you to a document that is just for that level of award. So you're not seeing all kinds of extra information that doesn't apply. Okay, so it allows you to focus on what you need. The toolkit is kind of structured in a similar fashion, and as you get to the end of the document, there are samples and examples in a chart form of what might qualify, what would be acceptable as evidence, what kinds of things, examples are we looking for each criteria. Okay, so I think for the most part, applicants have found the toolkit very helpful, easy to navigate. But we are here if you have any questions or concerns. We want to see you be successful. So once the applications are available, and same thing, there'll be a separate application for each depending on the level you're applying for. And those will be linked once they're available, and we'll send some communication. Okay, so you can see how things progress. So Rising Star, 1 topic, and all you really need to do is provide evidence of promotion and awareness raising, some kind of a skill learned, and environmental support. So it's not a very stringent requirement, but it's a great way to familiarize and get your foot in the door and start the program. And as you progress, there's additional topics required and the requirements for policies and other things. The comprehensive wellness program, we'll talk a little bit more about what that is, but that is required at the gold and platinum level. Okay, we'll talk more about that. The wellness statement, that simply is not really a part of the application we evaluate. It is anywhere from a statement to a short paragraph. And we do ask you to keep it to kind of a reasonable paragraph, because at the awards, we use that when we present the award to you. And it's an opportunity for you to highlight an aspect of your wellness program or of your awards application that you were very proud of, that may have been very well received by employees, something you really want to highlight and tell us all about. And so we will use that when we present the awards. Okay. So looking at promotion and awareness, the first criteria, which is required for every topic. Okay. We are looking at communication. So this doesn't quite reach the level of training. Okay, that's the next section. This would be posted memos, notices, notification, awareness created about something, some activity or the topic or something that's about to happen. Okay, so it relates to the topic. A lot of us are going with the intranet, our internal internet's web page, and that's a great spot. So we'll talk a little bit more about evidence because we need a document or a piece of evidence for each activity. Okay, not just one for each topic. We need for each of these activities. Okay, so a very good example would be a screenshot. If it's a web page or something, or a photograph of a bulletin board that's got the notices on it, something like that. Okay. Email blasts, of course, that's another common method of communicating. Hey, we've got this happening. Here's how you register. Here's the date, save the date, these kinds of things. And obviously social media and other media as well. Okay. Possibly a memo on a pay stub. Okay. So it's awareness, communication. Okay. Education skill building, again, required for every topic. Okay, one activity. This is different from the first one because this is a skill picked up, a skill learned. It's educational in nature. You've learned something. You've participated actively in something. So obviously a lunch and learn or a webinar is a great example. You're going to pick something up there, okay? A health fair, right? You got booths all set up and you pass through them and stuff. That would be considered for this part of the criteria. Any challenges or contests, all right, where you're actively participating and that would be good. So again, it's something that you're picking up a skill, you're learning something, knowledge building, okay? Environmental and administrative controls. So these are things that inherently exist in the organization physically. So things in and around the staff lunchroom, break rooms. It facilitates, there's like a water cooler. If there's any food offering, it's healthy in nature. Vending machines have healthy options, not just chips and chocolate bars. Things like that. There's equipment in the kitchen in order to encourage, preparation or cooking of healthier foods. Okay. Perhaps you have an opportunity to for break time. There's a room or space that you would consider as a quiet space, or even non-quiet space for some physical activity can take place, ping pong table or something else. Okay, that might be offered. With respect to harassment and discrimination, so an environmental or administrative support would be a zero tolerance policy for that. And how the organization would support employees who feel that they are victimized by that behavior. And of course, employee or family assistance program would fit into this, okay? Policies. So if you recall from the chart, we don't require too much in the way of policies for the first couple of levels of the award. It's more, it increases toward the upper levels, but regardless, there's a difference between a formal and an informal policy. And we know that a number of employers struggle with their policy approval process can be very lengthy and cumbersome. And so it's not always easy to have policies for everything. What I will say though, if you have an overarching or a comprehensive policy that covers everything you offer in your wellness program, you probably don't need any other policies. So if we review that and we can see that all your topics are mentioned or covered in that, you're good. Okay, we'll accept that. But if you don't have that and you just have like a collection of memos or maybe a policy or two that supports your topics, you'll need to submit them individually in support of each, wherever it's required. So the difference between formal and informal. So a formal policy would be something, on letterhead, it's official. It notes the authors, the sources. It's a structured document. It goes through an approval process, review, revision dates, and all of that. Okay. But we have allowed for informal policies in a couple of areas because some things, it's a posted memo or an email that goes out. Effective Monday, the company's offering this now for you. And so you can access it this way. That in effect is an informal policy because it's a plan for, it's not just a one event or one shot deal. it's a program, a thing that they're offering beginning, so that kind of thing. So an informal policy would not be subject to that formalized process of authoring and approval and revision and dates and stuff. Okay, so that's essentially the difference. If you have any questions and you want to shoot us a document and just, what do you think? Would this qualify as? We'd be happy to guide you. Okay. So I think that's, any more questions about that? The comprehensive wellness program is required at the gold and platinum level. So along with that, you would need to have that policy. Okay. Like an overarching, all-inclusive. Evaluation. It's required at some levels and for a few, not all topics, on some. What this is essentially, it amounts to some kind of a survey, a questionnaire, something done to get feedback on the effectiveness of that activity. Okay. So some aspect of the topic, that relates to one of the activities. Okay. So again, some kind of a survey or questionnaire sent out. You can even also make observations and audits during an event, okay, or activity, and make some notes and whatever. But at the end of the day, there'll be some kind of a report, a compilation of the results that can be shared, displayed, shown, and of course you learn from that, right? That's why we evaluate. We want to assess the effectiveness of whatever the activity. So that's essentially what it is, and that's typically what we see. I think if you can create a survey that would be sent out to staff that includes everything, you can be a one-shot deal. It can include and touch on every topic or activity or whatever. You could probably handle that in a dozen questions, would be fantastic, and then just provide us with the report. Okay. Evidence. So I did mention that at the end of the toolkits, there's a table that kind of lays a lot of these things out. Okay, I'm looking at environmental support. Okay, so what kinds of things would I need to do here? What kinds of activities, right? Examples. And what kind of evidence can I submit to support that, right? So we are looking for, in terms of evidence, it's a document, okay? Like a PDF document. Now, in the case of the training, education, skill building, attendance at an activity, we'll leave it up to you guys. We will accept redacted. We don't really need to see the names. We just need to see that something that happened, right? Photographs too. Sometimes we get photographs of a room, and there are employees sitting in there observing attending a presentation or of some kind. And again, we can redact or blur. We don't need identities, but rest assured, if you do send us that, it's not going to be distributed. We keep that confidential and secure. But if you choose to redact, that's fine too. We just need to see something to show that it happened. Okay. So again, policies, e-versions. Okay, so PDF versions. There is the ability on the application under each activity you list to upload documents. We will double check the functionality, but there should not be issues there, so that we would have you just submit the document right under the activity. So when we go into the application, it's right there. Okay, so essentially that is what we're looking for, something to prove each activity took place. Okay, and in the case of a survey or questionnaire for evaluation, that evidence would be a report. Okay, or a summary of some kind. Okay, so just to recap really quick, we've got the video tutorial. We will be posting this webinar for you to review. All the resources and the toolkits are available on our website. Once the applications are available, we'll communicate, and you will be able to do that right online. And the deadline for that at the end of February. Okay. So at this point, I would now like to introduce Erin Hodgson, who is the External Recruitment Coordinator for Windsor Regional Hospital. and lead of the Corporate Wellness Committee. To illustrate for us, what does a comprehensive wellness program, what can it look like? Take it away, Erin.
Thanks, John. So I'm Erin. I work with Windsor Regional Hospital, and I'm just going to take a little bit of time here and talk about what Windsor Regional Hospital has done over the past number of years in order to be Healthy Workplace Award recipients. Next slide, please. Okay, so I mean, we are a proud recipient of this award for a number of years. We're actually going into our 19th year of these awards. And for more than 10 years, we have been proud recipients of the Platinum Level Award. And this is something we are very proud of because it does recognize our commitment in fostering a safe, healthy, supportive environment for all of our employees and our professional staff. It also shows collective effort and a testament to the dedication of our executive leadership team, everybody in leadership management, and all of our staff to making wellness a priority for the people that work at the hospital. So just to get into a few things that we do in order to support our staff, but also supports our submission for the Platinum Award every year. So one of the things we do focus on is fostering physical wellness. So a lot of our employees have incredibly taxing jobs, whether they're sitting all day and standing all day. So we run a bunch of initiatives and some efforts to ensure that staff have the opportunity to really focus on their physical wellness. So a few things that we do, both our campuses do host on-site fitness facilities. So these facilities are available 24/7. They are swipe card access. They are available with full change rooms, washrooms, showers, and the lot, so that anybody working any shift has the ability to access these facilities. Through our Workplace Wellness Committee, we also work to promote employee wellness challenges. And one annual challenge that we do host is called the Annual Lift Fitness Challenge. So this is a really fun opportunity for our Workplace Wellness Committee to drive departmental camaraderie and a little bit of competition between staff. So we purchase licensing to use an app. We encourage staff to download the app. We encourage staff to build teams, make fun team names, register their teams or their departments in the app. And you can actually track all of the fitness that you do over the course of 1 month. So as an example, this year we did it in the month of May. The weather was nice. So whether it's getting outside and going for a walk, taking your dog for a walk, doing some stretching, running, whatever your level of fitness activity is, this app accommodates it. So there's really no discrimination and there's no expectation for people to have to run marathons in order to participate. It was a lot of fun. We send weekly updates to all participants so that they can see which teams are in the lead and really drive a little bit more of that friendly competition. And at the end of the month, the committee does provide a prize to the winning team who totaled the most amount of quote unquote fitness activity that they did in a month. So it's a really great and fun way for an organization of our size to be able to operate together as a team. Another way that we promote physical wellness at the organization is our ergonomics program. So our OHS team are very skilled and run a very comprehensive ergonomics program. And this is designed for anybody in the organization, regardless of the job they do. So if you're sitting at a desk all day, if you're standing on your feet all day and you need some accommodations, our OHS team will do a full comprehensive assessment, and then we'll make some suggestions as to what needs to be done in order to better accommodate you in your workday to promote the most optimal physical wellness while you're on the job. Next slide, please. And like any other health organizations working, in healthcare currently in Ontario and Canada and the world right now, we really are working hard to champion mental well-being for all of our staff. So in ways that we do this, we have a very comprehensive EAP program, fully confidential to all staff, like all EAP programs are. It's available 24/7. And what our focus this year has been is to really promote higher use of this program by really calling out a variety of different types of services that the EAP program provides. So little things like everybody thinks EAP, they think counseling services. And yes, EAP programs host amazing counseling services for anybody who works for the organization, but there's a lot more available to staff. And it really is a focus of ours over this year and next year to really promote all these different pieces like legal help, maybe you need help with children and daycare or schools, caregiver assistance, whether it's caring for an aged individual. We recognize here at the hospital that your mental well-being is a combination of what you do on the job every day and also what's waiting for you when you get home. And we want to make sure that our EAP program is comprehensive to support our staff in all ways. We work very hard on proactive education. So we target education initiatives that build resilience, normalize conversations around mental health. So again, we're really just trying to get ahead of the curve. Anything that we can do to promote training or opportunities for individuals to learn more about their own mental health or others' mental health, we do a lot to promote that. And then consistent promotion. So our public affairs and communications team are really great to ensure that all staff are made aware of any of the proactive opportunities that are available, but also to make sure that anything going on with community partners in the community for our staff to participate in order to support their mental health and well-being is communicated and promoted on a regular basis to all of our staff. So the pièce de résistance for Windsor Regional Hospital is our workplace wellness program. So this was an initiative that was sort of put together as an effort to foster a culture of health and well-being. We are a very large organization of almost 5,000 staff across 2 campuses and some other satellite sites. So back in 2022, all healthcare organizations really had hit the bottom of the pit of despair where COVID was concerned. And in 2022, organizations really realized that we really needed to start to focus on that uphill climb. Very slow, it was a very steep hill. So what our organization did at the time in our executive leadership team in recognizing this was to support a comprehensive initiative designed to really foster the health and well-being of our employees and our professional staff. So there was actually quite a large and unanimous commitment from our executive leadership team to devote staff time and dollars into promoting a new workplace wellness committee. And it's our single focus is the wellness of our staff. So every philosophy or our philosophy around our workplace wellness committee is built on the 5 dimensions of wellness. Anything that we do as a committee has to fit into these 5 dimensions. So the 5 dimensions are the physical wellness, which is your ability to maintain a healthy quality of life, which allows you to get through your daily activities with undue fatigue or physical stress. We look at intellectual wellness. So it's the ability to open your minds to new ideas and experiences that can be applied to personal decisions, group interaction, and community betterment. Spiritual wellness is your ability to establish peace and harmony within your own life. Social wellness is your ability to relate to and connect with other people in your community and throughout the world. And emotional wellness is your ability to understand, accept, and manage your feelings and the capacity to effectively cope with stress. So everything as a committee that we talk about and that we focus on and that we do has to be centered around one or all of these dimensions of wellness. So program delivery, as I said, we're a very large organization across multiple campuses and satellite offices. So we really, this was something we had to take into consideration. So program delivery looks like this. We have a monthly calendar of events and activities for staff to participate in. These are all local and they are all in-person events. Okay, events are free for employees and professional staff to attend. So we work to try and offer upwards of 12 high-quality wellness-themed events per month. and we do provide them free of charge to staff. So each event includes the participation for one staff, typically, and one guest or family member to join them. We also try to focus on one much larger family event on a monthly basis. So this is an opportunity for a staff member to bring their entire family, children, that sort of thing, to participate in whatever that event might be at that time. And the program also, in order to drive participation, includes recognition for participation, including randomly selected winners for every event. And we have a random program that we use to randomly select an individual, and they win, a piece of swag. And then again, to work to draw new participation from new hired staff, or maybe staff who hadn't really given or had time to participate in the past. Earlier this year, we started a draw for a new participant winner every month. So Karen and FSEAP, who are our program manager for this wellness committee, have very detailed back end of data where they're able to pull out who all the new participants were on a monthly basis. And then once again, we do a random draw. Event support and service. So again, we are a 24/7 organization. We have staff that work at all times of the day, all days of the week. And we work very hard to ensure that our participants are supported by our HR department, our public affairs and communication department, and our program manager at FSEAP. And we do this through email, text, cell phone, phone communication. We really do work hard to make sure that any last minute cancellation requests, questions, challenges with registration, anything of whatever that looks like, we respond to those absolutely quickly as possible so that all staff have opportunity and participate no matter what. Marketing and promotion for the event. So we promote our calendar on the wellness intranet page that we host with the organization. And then every week, updates on what events are coming up, what events maybe we need to drive a little bit more attendance through, goes into our newsletter. And we know the newsletter is working because when we know we have an event with low attendance, if it's posted in the newsletter within hours of that newsletter being emailed to staff, we automatically start to see those registration numbers start to rise. So again, just a reminder, communication. The calendar and the registration are all done virtually, and they're all available 24/7. So again, removing the barrier and accommodating all staff, regardless of where they work, how they work, what shift they work, everything is available virtually. A really nice picture of most of our workplace wellness committee. And I know I've said it a few times, but one of our focuses for this committee is really ensuring that we have a comprehensive membership across all campuses and as many, if not all, departments as possible. The reason for that is we have a lot of conversation around what would work well for wellness. And of course, we're having those conversations on a monthly basis, but we also want feedback from the department and what works better, whether it be for the type of events that we host, the way we communicate these events, whatever that might be. So the hope is that these individuals then will take that information back to their teams and back to their departments, communicate that out, and then of course have those individuals bring any feedback on a monthly basis back to the committee.
Okay. Thank you very much, Erin. So as we navigate through any questions, Q&A there might be, just wanted to show a few, our recent ceremony back in May of this year for last year. We were very, very pleased, and the feedback from participants was very, very positive. So any of you who were in attendance would know what I'm talking about. We were treated by a very, very inspirational presentation, Mindfulness at Work, from Alex Wiseman, and she actually got the crowd involved in a couple of interesting exercises. It was neat, and of course we had some really good words about workplace wellness from Bill Mara. So it was a really great event. Great host, St. Clair Center for the Arts. We had a beautiful view of the river. The meal was great. It was just an all-around great event. So we're looking to do a repeat of that of sorts this coming year for this awards. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. To Erin for her presentation, give you an idea of what a program could look like. And as well to the committee, the Working Towards Wellness Committee, for organizing this webinar. Many working very hard off the side of their desks. We all have day jobs, but we are very passionate about workplace wellness, so it's important to us. As previously noted, the presentation and recording will be made available on our website. And as well, please visit our website for further information on the awards, or you can reach out to us. As a reminder, applications will be available in December and due by the end of February. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.